get started. So I'm going to begin by lying on top of the roller. So it goes onto the mat or the floor, and come around and sit your hips down one end and your shoulders and your head on the other end. If you have a short roller, this won't work for you, so just do it on the floor. And if you have a long roller, make sure your head, the base of your skull, is on, and your pelvis, your hips, your sacrum bone is on the roller. And we'll start with some shoulder rolls. So if you're lying on the floor, it works just as well. Now you'll breathe in, lift your arms up overhead, and breathe out, stretch them back down towards your hips again. So keep this moving with your breath. Take a big breath in. Try and keep your lower back pressing in towards the roller or the floor, so you're not arching. We're stretching, mobilizing through your shoulder joints and the upper spinal joints, and massaging between your shoulder blades if you have a roller. And also make sure if you feel any discomfort or pain, or these exercises don't feel right for your body, then please don't do them. Just sit those ones out, and you can join in again with the ones that feel good for you. This is designed to make your body feel good, not to make you feel uncomfortable or give you any pain. And I'm going to do this 3 more times, so working through the fullest range that you can. If you don't move your joints through a full range, then they start to seize up and get tighter, and your range becomes less and less every day. We've got 1 more. Breathe in, lift your hands up, and breathe out. Sweep them back around. Now bring your hands onto your hips, and we'll start with a little core activation. I want you to breathe in, and on your exhale, breathe out, lift one leg. Your elbows are off the floor if you can. Breathe in, lower. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in, lower. Breathe out, lift. Now if you're rolling all over the place, wobbling or falling off your roller, that just means that your core muscles are not very active right now. And the good thing about that is if you keep practicing this every day, they will start to fire up and switch on, and then they'll be working fine in no time at all. It's just a repetition thing. You use your breath. If you're on the floor, you can do the same thing. You just won't have a roller to fall off, wobble off. So exhale, breath to lift. If you're pretty comfortable and pretty confident and that's easy for you, lift your leg, extend it out in front. You might even like to take it up and back down. In again and lower. So you can hold that leg and move it through a longer range if your core is good and you're not wobbling everywhere. Your lower back staying connected towards the mat or the roller. And keep using your breath. So if you are really struggling with this one on your roller, then just put your fingers on the floor, very lightly touch down, and continue to walk. And after a couple of days, if you practice this a few times, you'll be able to put your hands back on your hips and lift your legs. So let's do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So our next exercise will be a rolling bridge. Now if you're on a roller, you can stay on your roller for this one. If you'd like to come down onto the floor, it's a little bit easier, you can go there. So this one is designed to mobilize all of your spinal joints to get them lubricated and moving well. So place the fingers down if you need to, and then you're going to push your lower back into the roller or the floor. Lower back touches, and then push down into your feet, activate your hamstrings and your glutes and your calf muscles. Press your hips up and roll through your spine. At the top, take a breath in, and then roll back down through your spine. This is a Pilates exercise, and your sacrum and your tailbone will touch last. So you can rock through your hips. So breathe in at the bottom. Breathe out. Press the lower back in. Press your sacrum first, then your lower back, then the middle back, and then the upper back between your shoulder blades. And come to the top of your bridge. Hold there as you breathe in. And roll back down. Slowly through your spine. All the way along the spine until the tailbone comes down last. And we'll do 3 more. So breathe in to prepare. Breathe out, roll. Lower back presses in. So you scoop into your belly there. Push down into your feet to lift the hips and roll to the top of the spine. At the top you should feel all the muscles on the back body engaging. Breathe in and roll back down. Slowly down. Breathe out. Use your breath. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, roll through the lower back, middle back, between your shoulder blades, onto the back of the shoulder blades. Breathe in at the top, roll back down, nice and easy. Slowly moving each joint separately in your spine. And one more time, breathe in, breathe out and roll all the way up till you find yourself at the top of your bridge again. Breathe in there and come back down. Exhale nice and slow through your spine and relax at the bottom. Now hands behind your head. Support your head and shoulders and see if you can lift your shoulder blades up off the floor or your roller. And we'll take 10 curls here, 10 pulses with your breath. Inhale breath, breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax. And one more abdominal exercise here. You can take your fingertips to the floor. Bring the legs up to a tabletop. Now if your abs aren't very strong, keep your head on the ground. If you're strong through your abs, lift the chin towards your chest and lift your shoulder blades up. And then exhale. 1, breathe in. 2, breathe in. It's important that your lower back doesn't lift up into an arch as you lower your leg down. So if it's moving, bring it into a bent knee and keep the spine straight. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. If you're on a roller, time to take that away and come down onto your mat. And we'll all continue on the mat together. So feet together, we're going to mobilize your spine. So with the arms at shoulder height, squeeze the ankles together and roll your knees from side to side. Nice and slow. Now, if you've been sitting or not moving for a long time, you might get a few pops and cracks here along the spine as the joints start to move. Gently rolling, using the breath. Exhale to roll. Inhale to come back to the middle. Exhale, roll. Inhale back. Roll and back. If you feel your hips are quite tight as well, you can move your feet to the edges of your mat or just wider than your hips and roll with the knees wide to work into the hip joints, to lubricate the hip joints and get them moving again, getting rid of any stiffness or tension that you're holding around your hips. And we'll do 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Come back to the middle. Bring the feet together again. And then hug your knees into your chest. Squeeze them in there. Bring your chin to your chest as well and squeeze. Relax your head down. Take hold of your knees and circle them. 1, knee goes clockwise, the other one goes anti-clockwise. See if you can coordinate that. If you can't, just circle the knees together in the same direction. We'll do 3, 2, 1, and then back the other way. Reverse it. Again, we're lubricating your hip joints, allowing them to move and loosening up the back of your pelvis, your sacroiliac joint. A lot of back pain comes from stiffness in the sacroiliac joint or the lower spine where it connects to the pelvis. This is a nice gentle one to do. And place your feet back down. One more mobilizing exercise for the lower back. Come back into bridge, holding at the top. Now with your hips, just drop one and press it back up. Drop the other and press. Relaxing one glute, pushing it back. Relaxing the other glute, pushing it back. Let's do 4, push, 3, push, 2, push, and 1. Just another good one to loosen off your lower back. Roll back to the mat. Take hold of your knees. Lift your chin to chest. Tuck in a roll. Rock a few times between your shoulder blades and your hips only. Don't go onto your head or your neck. Let's do 3 more. 2. And 1. And come all the way up to sitting. Once you're in a seated position, cross your legs. And we'll make some circles. We're rolling around, keeping the hips on the ground, just rolling through the lower back and the hips again, and the glutes, making your circles as big as you can. 2 more of those. 1, and go back the other way. Circle, hips down, shoulders reaching out as far as you can. Another 3, and 2, and 1, and come back to the center. Now one side body stretch here. Raise your arm up and reach it over. Push your opposite hip down to the floor and reach your hand across your head. Take another breath in, stretch again. And come back to the middle. Other side, breathe in, reach over. Be sure to put the opposite hip down as you stretch. Breathe in, stretch more, and come back to the center. And now I'm going to come into a toe squat. If this is too strong for you, don't worry about it. You can skip this one out. Or you can sit flat on your feet. That might be too strong as well. But if you can, tuck your 10 toes all the way forward. Make sure they're pointing forward. You may have to check with your hands. If you've got some room to move, if you're a little more open, you can press your hands back. But again, don't reach to a pose that's not appropriate for your body at this time. If you can push your hips up, push them up. Open your chest and your shoulders. You can shrug your shoulders to drop your head back. Breathe a nice deep breath again. In and out. And lower your hips. Walk your hands all the way forward. Come into a down dog this time, opening the back of the legs up. If you're tight, just walk it out there. One side and the other. And then walk the hands back towards your feet. We'll come into a ragdoll. So these are yoga poses. The feet at least hip width apart. If you're tight, bend your knees so you can hang. You can put your hands on your elbows or you can place them onto your knees for some support as you lean forward. If you're more open, take a sway from side to side. I call these ragdoll sways. Just a few more. And then back into the center. Bring your feet together as much as you can. Bend your knees if you have to. Then roll all the way up to standing through your spine, lifting your belly. Coming up to the top. Take a nice shoulder roll at the top. And there you have it. That's your wake up and warm up routine. Also, if you get a little stiff through the day, it's a great one to do. Just jump down onto the mat. It's going to make you feel nice and open and fresh and moving and alive. It gets the circulation going, it stretches out the muscles, and it gets your joints moving, so it makes you feel great. So until next time,